I can see an innate desire, sword in hand, warriors side by side. I can feel it, it burns like fire. Worlds collide, an unstable landscape, side by side. But that's what this mandates. Be it might, an unlikely allegiance. We will fight because that's the best defense. No turning back, for such is our path. Mission is clear as we ride against a dark empire. By my soul, may the last thing they hear be the roar of this raging fire. Listen, be the savagery mindset. Not today, we'll let loose and find it. Brutal will define our reaction. Rip out the throat of each one in their fashion. No turning back for such is our path. This day we find the
Home Services has a bundle for all budgets. You can be fully protected with emergency response for just $49.99.
Okay, we are live. It is Braxcast live once again. We got Student of God in the chat. Mike has bad knees, so hopefully you guys had a good week. I know you're in the mountain time, so it's like, 5 o'clock? I'd say that's not the afternoon. It's like the beginning of the evening. It's very solidly in the evening here on the eastern seaboard. Yes, Andrew's got the right idea. It is evening, so good evening to you. Hopefully you guys had a good week. This week was a little bit of a mess for me, but started a new job and you make mistakes and stuff like that. And also it starts early, so I only went to the gym once this week. So hopefully tomorrow and Sunday, God willing, I can get the rest of the lifting schedule done. Sun hasn't set yet. Sun's set for me because it's freaking winter and the sun sets at like 5 o'clock. But anyways, it seems like a bunch of people are coming in on the Twitter sphere, X, whatever you want to call it. But it's actually pretty exciting for the Rippaverse, because while I had an off week, the Rippaverse had a very on week. And what we've got here is the pre-order launch. So Eric talked about this. We're going to be shifting from these collections where you have broad release dates with like merch options to very limited pre-orders with a specific date where you'll actually get the book, and then very limited in terms of the pre-order options. And one day we got 3 of them launched. I was able to get all 3 of these because the day that this launched, my store credit came through. So I spent almost like half of my store credit already just getting the book packs for these 3. But anyways, I got them. I'll probably be able, like 3 more, be able to get the book packs. So that's going to allow me to build up some money. So we've got Alphacore number 3, which is going to be April 29th, 2026. That's when it will release, which is really exciting. So we're going to get Alphacore number 2 very soon, and then basically number 3 like right after that. We're going to get Salvage Lethal Force. It'll come June 10th, 2026, which is just at the end of the summer. And then Saoirse number 1 will come along with that. I did 3 separate orders for all of these, so that way I'll just get them shipped out to me basically when they launch. But like I said, and I got 1 CGC for Saoirse number 1 because I had the store credit. I didn't get all of them because I want to extend it out for as much as I can. But I did get all of these thanks to the store credit. So thanks for guys giving me that store credit. It really came in clutch. But of course, we've got only 1 salvage cover I like. Well, some of the covers haven't been revealed yet, which is interesting. But we do have most of these covers revealed, and I like them all. We'll go over all of them. We'll chat for a little bit like we always do. Still, it's a down week. Got a funeral to go to on Sunday. So, and then I got plans next weekend, which were kind of like hampered a little bit with stuff that went on. But anyways, there's a lot in the air right now in my personal life, and I'm still like trying to get through that. So, forgive actually, but I shouldn't, I have no showmanship, right? I don't know why anybody watches me, because like I'm not like this good like hype presenter that presents stuff. But anyways, regardless, we're going to go cover Alphacore number 3 first. So we've got so Alphacore number 3. So we can open up Alphacore number 3. And then I think the only one that really has CGCs is Saoirse, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, you've got this A cover here with doing it. There we go. With Ingrid Valdez right here. This is the A cover. Beautiful. And I believe this is by BTG. We got a Joe Bennett cover. This is going to get revealed soon. And then cover D, the Maspring cover, is going to be a Kane and White cover revealed soon as well. Cover C is the Heroines of the Rippaverse, a Virgin special cover by Guillermo Carte, featuring Saoirse, Ingrid. I can actually just say these characters. So you got Saoirse, you got Ingrid, you got Bloodroof, and you've got Yaira. And this is a nice Virgin cover. Like, I do like this cover. the style is a little bit like it's a good like I like the framing of it. I like the color work. It's just the way like the style of like the characters is like it's a little too cartoony for me. Other than that, it's pretty good. And also just like the way like you got like the busts here, like they feel like a little bit too like it's too water balloon for me. Like the way it's just drawn, it just doesn't look right to me. Which again leads to like the too cartoony aspect for me. Um, but anyways, and it's like guys, it's like, oh, are you a straight guy, Joker? You're complaining about breasts not being depicted correctly. Yes, anyways, I don't know. I think I make Skippy look like he can get it in. You guys know Skippy's like a 40-year-old something virgin. His entire internet persona is basically how he can't get a girlfriend. I make that guy look like a player. Oh man, there's the self-deprecating humor. Back at it again. But anyways, so that's the Alphacore free cover. The interesting thing is that with Alphacore free, and actually okay, I don't need. I already gave you my number, guys. So for Alphacore, the Alphacore team is grounded, but threats to Forest Park never stop. But the interesting thing, Eagles Nest is still under repair, so of course Free is going to take over right after 2. Yeah, they are stripped of their official duties, which is probably the fallout from number 2. But well, actually, it's what happens in number 1. It's what happens in number 2, but it's the fallout from number 1. Solari and Braxwell are helping to rebuild the city, but beneath the rubble of the Cornado Center, danger is tunneling upward when Brian stumbles into an underground heist operation and discovers a hidden vault, a conspiracy that runs deeper than anyone imagined. Meanwhile, Braxwell's off-the-books vigilante work leads to a chilling encounter with the Horseman, who warns that their new benefactor, Cal Buxton, isn't who he claims to be. And of course, if you read Horseman number 2, you know that Hector finds that out, which means that Alphacore number 3 takes place before Horseman number 2, which I find to be interesting. In fact, that Horseman makes an appearance in Alphacore is also extremely interesting. But it makes sense. It's just very interesting. But anyways, we got Merc Lounge in the chat. I'm not sure if I said that. Hi to you. Blink 182, who likes the Skippy peanut butter? Yeah, I think I'm a bit too like Blink 182 was really big in like the early 2000s, like that, and like Linkin Park. It's a little bit, I wouldn't say, like, I don't know, before my time usually means like stuff before like I was alive. I was a little bit too young when they were up and coming. I liked Imagine Dragons while I was in high school because they released that album Night Visions when I was like around like 15 or so. Got a bunch of guys on Twitter. Actually, got a decent amount of people on YouTube as well. So this stream is doing well. And I've got stuff to talk about. I'm just not hyped because it's so freaking cold out. The new job, I'm basically outside. It's like below 30 degrees. Ugh. So like the fact that it's like so cold, like it hampers me down. Like it's a physical drag, which leads to it being a mental drag. So I'm honestly like, I love the snow. Like winter hiking is fun. But I just want it. I just want it to. I just want it to be warm again. I want it to be spring because I came here. Let's see. You will not understand Blink 180 unless you listen to the live show CD. Yeah. Make me a mix. Get. I have the heater. I'm running the heater right now. I have a gas heater in the apartment that's on full blast. I was under the blankets for a good like half an hour. I hobbled out like a couple of minutes before I had to start the stream to warm up because my pants are really thin. So my freaking legs freeze. I'm wearing wool socks. Like, dude, I am doing my best to stay warm. It's just cold, and so I have a heater. Your music tastes don't really hit until you're like 12, 13. Yeah, I agree with that. I do like the Beatles. I love to listen to the Beatles a lot when I was a kid. I'm really nostalgic for Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band because I listened to that album when I was in college. So when I was dorming and I would walk to my classes, and it was a big campus. I'd listen to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. In fact, my like chem partner, I'd go, we'd say, you listen like I forget what the last song is. Day in the Life. Yeah, it's John Lennon's lines. I read the news today. Oh boy. So I'd say I read the news today, say, oh boy. Like an inside joke between us. It was like it's almost like 10 years ago at this point. Yeah, to warm up, you got to do some push-ups. Yeah, I would actually probably help me out. Anyways, I mean, let's see. Can I? Oh no. Let's see. Should I do some push-ups? Let's see. Oh. You guys still hear me? Oh, let me get the. Probably was such a crap angle. That was a crap angle. Weak. Yeah, certainly weak. But anyways, I wanted to I was focused on getting back to the stream. But yeah, my push-ups aren't the best. I can do pull-ups though. I don't have a pull-up bar. In decent form. Thank you, Mike. Zay Comics is in the chat. Nice to see you. Caffeine, Andrew saying Beach Boys is better than the Beatles. It's subjective, but I haven't listened to too much of the Beach Boys. And I also have weak bloodline energy, apparently, because I was complaining about it being cold. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I went winter hiking. And honestly, let me see. I could probably show this to you guys. Beastie Boys better than the Beatles. Hold up. Did EVS do? I mean, decent chance he could. But that I didn't max out. Like that wasn't the most amount of push-ups I could do. I just did a couple, and then I wanted to like I didn't want to like be doing push-ups all day, and I wasn't like, I don't think I had a good angle. I mean, could you guys see what I was doing? But anyways, I just went banged out a couple. Let's see. Yeah. If I can see. Here we go. If I can, let's see. I'm gonna remove that from the studio. Stop screen. Share screen. Boom. Here we go. You guys can see this actually. Anyways, you guys can see this, right? This was me. I went hiking, and this was me like at the end of the hike. So I was freaking frozen, man. This was a sub-zero hike. So the one I said, hey, I'm gonna go hiking during like the chill. And yeah, this is one where I was like, I thought I was going to freeze to death, man. And I practically did. But it took me like 2 days to get warm again. Like man, it was something. It was something. But it was good fun. It was good fun. Straight cope. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. If I mean, I'm not like physically. I did say on a podcast, I did one with Thaddeus Patrick on orthodoxy and transgenderism, which is a really good podcast. You guys should listen to that. And I said I was like in the top 20% of men in terms of strength. So like if you put me in a room with 100 guys, then I'd probably be stronger than 80 of them. That's what I'm saying. But that's not like really impressive for the average, in terms of like the average American male. So I'm not like Schwarzenegger. Well, Schwarzenegger was on, PEDs anyway. Yeah. It's not like, but anyways, I'm not this like perfect specimen where I can do these like super impressive stuff. Like, I don't know. Your phone actually still worked. Yeah, no, I was impressed by that. I had the snow pants, so I kept it in the pocket all day. I took it out at some points. So yeah, it still worked though, and I didn't freaking freeze. There's one time where this was with the other job where I was still able, hopefully, God willing, I can because I have getting up really early to go to the gym, and I would get up on. I've been getting up on time. I just haven't. It's the whole thing with like going from one sleep schedule to another. And I just am not as I just am not as dedicated to it. And like I've got this massive like mental burnout. Like mentally, I'm just done. That's what it feels like. But anyways, the phone still worked. But there's one time where I left my phone in my car in the morning, and then I forgot. I went out and I pulled it out and I put it on the charger. Like, phone is too cold to charge. It has to warm up. I'm like, it was out there for like a couple of minutes. Yeah, so it is freaking cold. Yeah, switching sleep schedules is a pain in the ass. So yeah, it's closer to what my old one was, but my sleep schedule has been like all over the place. And this week is one where like it's the first week where I'm trying to, get it back on track to where I get up really early. So I can be at the gym by like 4 a.m., get back by like, 4:30 or so. Um, take a shower, get the podcast out if it's podcasting day, maybe eat something and then go to work. And also, like draw. Be nice to be able to read a little bit, but you need plenty of time to do that. I'm just barely giving myself time to do anything. Um, I also shower. All that fun stuff. But anyways, you guys don't want to hear me rant about my personal life and all the issues, all like how much of a mess I am. So we got Alphacore free, but we're going to go over Salvage Lethal Force. So Salvage Lethal Force was the first short story in the Ripazine. And it's a short story that launched the Ripazine. Everyone responded to it really positively from what I remember. And then of course the second one was Saoirse. And I maintain that, I like Salvage more than Saoirse. So Saoirse getting an ongoing series is not a bad thing. But I want there to be more, like I want there to be like at least a Salvage miniseries. That would be nice. But anyway, Saoirse having an ongoing series is really cool. I hope it goes well. But I definitely am going to want more Salvage. So you've got John Salvage being an LF certified private investigator, one of only three in the Flores Park authorized to use lethal force when justified. And this explosive follow-up to Salvage PI routine investigation into a cargo fest to spiral into corporate warfare, leaving bodies in its wake. After barely escaping a deadly counter with Plyo, a mysterious fighter who hit like sledgehammer, Salvage must navigate the aftermath while piecing together who's really putting the strings behind the chaos. So Plyo is like the ninja character that was at the end of Salvage. Let's see. Of these three books, what do you want to read most? Poll. Actually, yeah, we can do a poll right now. And I have this. Like again, I've given my number to this. Like I have this, okay? So I don't need this freaking pop-up all the time. That's Andrew, fix that. If Eric, if you're watching this, yell at somebody. Anyways, we can do a poll. Let's see. Most hyped for Salvage. Saoirse, Alphacore. Boom. A poll has been created. I'm off for the weekend now, bruh. Send in a ticket. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's kind of. I'm not even sure like how that would work. Like, again, it's just a pop up. I think it's just part of the site, right? But whatever. It's not that big of a deal. GDV. I've seen you a couple of times. Nice to see you in the chat. Of course, this poll is up, so we can actually go see the results. Most people, we got four votes. So it seems like Alphacore free is what people are most excited for. Based off of this, I am agreeing from what I've seen so far. But of course, Salvage is very. So Salvage also has the also has the CGCs, which I have not opted for getting the CGCs for Salvage. Saoirse, since this is number one. Salvage, I want to get all of them, but I just don't have the money for it. Hail, Rippaverse, Discord fam. Eric said 100 books this year, and the detractors lost their minds, brother. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I'm biased. I want more Chuck Dixon. Yeah, and I do as well. Yeah, I mean 100 books. That's ambitious. But I think, dude, I'm not going to be able to afford the. not going to be able to afford that. So if there are 100 books launched this year, I will not be able to buy every single cover. It's 400 books I'd have to buy. Yeah, that's 20 books in 2 months, man. Yeah, it's going to be if you're talking about like in terms of like fulfilling stuff from like last year, that being included, even then, yeah, this is a lot. This is a lot of freaking stuff, man. But anyways, we got Salvage Lethal Force, and I think so we got the A cover, Kane and White with Jay Brown doing the covers, and I interviewed Jay Brown, fantastic artist. We knew about this cover when it was first like announced at the Rip Reveal, and I got to update my Rip Reveal tracker based on those two that were Salvage and Saoirse being launched. But anyways, so that was that. And then we've got and these I think are all 56 pages, which is a good length. This is Plio. Vince L. Tabans is the artist for this, and this is a fantastic. This is like Plio. You've got that in the back, and I love this Noir logo. Like, oof, it's just chef's kiss. Is that Noir logo? We got Anthony Buck. Now, I've seen you a couple of times. It's nice to see you in the chat. So hopefully you are enjoying the coverage. I do like doing Braxcast. And number 100 for the Braxcast is tomorrow. I will be getting that up tomorrow. It'll be the 100th episode. This is actually a really good one to do. Like really perfect timing for the 100th episode of Braxcast to have like something really cool to talk about. But I love, this is a really good cover. There's a lot of action in it. But of course, the D cover is going to be Rod Looper, which is coming soon. So we don't, again, show that off to you guys. But what we do have is this foil embossed covered, and this is by Arkin Tiagi. This got this embossed treatment. And I really like this cover. And I'm going to say one of the things I like about this cover, and hopefully this aliasing doesn't appear in the final product. Let's see, 100 already. Yeah, 100 episodes of Braxcast. So I started Braxcast in February of 2024. It was the end of February in 24. So I've been doing it for about 2 years now. Time flies. Man, my life was completely different, man, like 2 years ago. And the Riververse was as well, because we didn't even have Yaira. So we were still in the campaign format 2 years ago, guys. So Yaira's campaign hadn't launched yet. It was about a little over a month from when it launched, from when I started Braxcast. So yeah, no, thank you. Thank you. So I've been at this for, like I said, 2 years at this point, which is really crazy to think about. I was still living in New York at the time. I was still in my mother's basement, but you can see like this table, and I've said this multiple times, but this table is the one that I filmed on back in New York, and I film on it here. Although I didn't do any reviews for January. There's a couple. I just have been like very like not putting any on the plate, which I honestly ought to do. Because guys, people seem to like the reviews. There's definitely stuff coming out. It's just like not having the money for it. Although I have a bunch of books that I can review anyways. It's just like I just don't have the wherewithal right now. So I might get to doing the Divinity Comics Rainbow the Brute. I got Wrath of God free. So anyways, we'll see what happens with that. We will see what happens. But anyways, back to this this cover from Salvage. What I like about it is the fact that you see like the circles coming out, the sonic wave, whatever you want to call it. Salvage has hearing powers. It's something that if you've read his Dokubon card, which I have. And I've got it, of course, in the binder here. I can hold it with one hand. It's not an omnibus, so I can hold it with one hand. But I've got the of course, Salvage card in there. And if you read Salvage's card, or you watch if you have it, or you watch the episode of the Braxcast, which I cover the Dokubon card, yeah, it's obvious in the short story. it's obvious in the short story as well. I probably would have to reread that one to catch it. Yeah, it's also shown in the short story. Yeah, decent chance it is. I would need to reread that. In fact, let's go and get the magic because I should have represented number one. Let's see. No, that's the Saints and Sinners concept art book. That's here we go. First issue of the Ripazine. Absolutely love that art. Let's see. We got Salvage. So, I mean, sorry guys, I just want to see because it's been a while since I read this one. But anyways, it's just like, oh yeah, no, I'm seeing it now. You see this like panel right here. Like it's very, very obvious that he has hearing powers. Yeah. So there you go. It's very clear if you read that. So yeah, it's shown in the short story, but like it's explicitly mentioned in the Dokumon card. So that's why like I just absorbed that information. It's like, oh, he's got hearing powers because I read the Dokumon card. But it is like if you read that short story, there's of course that panel where it's shown that he can hear. But I just love this, cover for showing that off. This is what I'm mentioning. He's got Merc Lounge has got photographic memory. Just kidding. Yeah. So it is shown in the short story. Like I said, it's shown in the short story. It's also mentioned in the Dokumon card, which is where like I remember because it's explicitly stated. I don't get subtext too well. Is one of the many reasons why you can't flirt with me, or you can't like I can't interact with women. Because like interacting with women is entirely based on like understanding like subtext and subtlety. You gotta sit me down, like you gotta like explicitly state it in my face. But anyways, but the nice thing, man, is that I spend my Friday nights talking about comic books, man. I don't have to interact with women on that basis because like, no, especially Ripverse books because Zach put out that video and I saw this from Student of God saying, if you're buying Ripverse at this point still in 2026, you're just lonely. But, which isn't entirely untrue for me. But I'm not buying these like culture war bonds. And again, I didn't do Braxcast for 2 years just as like some sort of like epic grift. When I haven't made a single cent off of Velvet Room Publishing or anything that I've done. And I've got a bit of an audience. So I'm grateful for you guys. You got Merc Lounge, Anthony, you got Andrew, of course, Mike Has Bad Knees, GDV. There's like Emily. I'm not sure if she's in the chat. You got Kruger. I know Nick Weiser sometimes watches. He lurks. He says like he'll, pop in the chat. I don't see him in the chat, but he's, lurking. And if he's lurking, much power to you. You got all the people on Twitter for whatever reason are watching. Yeah, Zadie Comics, nice. I ought to get like Phil Diaz, like not necessarily on Braxcast, but just like in the Velvet Room with Joker the Fool. So if you're watching this, Phil, like DM me and I'll get you on my podcast sometime. We can just chat. That'll be fun. But anyway, so Merc Lounge, of course, I think if I didn't mention you, I'm definitely going to mention you because you cool. My dumbass needs deck 3 and 4 to go over the cards. I don't want to ask for decent. I don't want to ask for decent taking pictures of 20 cards. Are the Twitter people real? I don't know. I can't tell if they are real because this has happened a couple of times. The most that it's been is where I've had like 300 concurrent viewers and they're all from Twitter. But with Twitter is that like you can't really comment on the post. So like there is a chat, but I've never seen anyone interact on the chat. So it doesn't happen every time I stream. So I do the dual streaming. Anyways, so it could be real. If it's not, whatever. I know like the YouTube numbers, they're pretty accurate. It's just like I don't really get, all that many. So, typically it's about, 10 people. Twitter isn't real. Certainly Twitter is not real. Again, I'm not, well, I apparently am real. I don't know, man. I have questioned my entire my grip on everything is not good right now, man. Oh man. Anyways, we got Garfield in the chat, another big fan of the channel. Really nice to see you. So covering Salvage and Alphacore. So we just got through Salvage and Alphacore. So of course this is picking up the short story in the Ripazine. We know the name of the villain, the big baddie, is Pylo for Ripazine. In the guy featured that in the end of Ripazine. So this is Pylo. He was in the Ripazine. Ripaverse is going to have to reprint the card decks. I think the whole point of that Student of God was that the whole point of that was that they were limited. And speaking of card decks, Merc Lounge, I think I have scans of 3 and 4. Let me check, but I haven't scanned the most recent ones, and I used to, because you had this guy on Twitter, Incredulous Papist. So the Ripaverse wiki link is dead because he nuked all of his online presence because he's trying to, he's a refugee from Britain, so he's trying to get H1B'd into the US. So he deleted his freaking account, and also the Ripaverse wiki site. So I would do scans, like the scans of the books as well. For him, I just haven't done that like since I've moved up here because I got a bunch in backlog, and I just don't see the point in doing that to these books anymore if he's not oh damn, let's see, we started that one. Oh damn, hope he's good. Yeah, I hope he's good as well. Incredulous Papist, so he ran the Ripaverse wiki, but there wasn't a lot of people who were in on it, but I was helping him with like giving him like assets. One of the things I would do is I'd scan the Dokumon cards. So I'm pretty sure that I have decks 3 and 4 as scans, Merc Lounge. So if you want to DM me, I can send those to you. But let's see, Dokumon cards. Oh yeah, no, I've got 3 and 4. So, yep, I do in fact have 3 and 4. They're upside down, but you can reorient them. But I've got scans of them. So if you want 3 and 4 Merc Lounge, I can send those to you because I scan them. Those are really easy to scan. So no, just DM me, and sometime after the stream, I'll just send you a link to the Proton drive, and you can just use those for your videos. No problem at all. So, and I already did it. So. Definitely looking forward to Salvage. I want to see what else Bart Sears has cooked for the book. Yeah, I was just flipping through the art, Garfield, because I said that Salvage's hearing powers or something that's on his Dokumon card. There's like, well, it's obvious to read the short story. I was like, I gotta look through it because it's been a while since I read it. And I was like, yeah, no, there's a panel explicitly. I was just like looking through the art. I'm like, yeah, no, Bart's stuff is like, it's really good. It's that epic noir style. I liked I forget who did the art for Catch and Kill. It's really it's escaping my mind, but I like that noir style as well. Anyway, the likelihood of us reprinting the lenticular Dokumon trading card in the same form is highly unlikely. They're intended as limited availability collectibles. Yeah, that was the point of the Dokumon cards, and I think that's a good way to do it. What would be nice is to have the information, because the information is valuable, and I think people should be able to access it. If you had like non-lenticular, and you had like they were like regular baseball card size. I'm looking for something, actually I have a trading card. So here you go. If you have like something that's like this size, right? And you can pack them in with your regular old, Repaverse book, you can buy like basically the whole pack of them for like maybe $5-10 at most. And you have like, a different drawing of the character, or maybe the same one. And you have that information on the back. I think that would be something to consider. But anyway, yeah, Catch and Kill was Sebastian Garcia and how Canola. Evan Scale is a great pickup. His art for Dirty D's matches the crazy energy from the team. Yeah, no, his art for that book is fantastic. But anyways, we're going to get into the last book because I have covered all three. And I wanted to like cover all three of the books. So Saoirse is number one. This is the start of the ongoing series. Of course, she was first revealed in Ripazine number 2. So that was Saoirse's short story. With Was written by Eric July, just like Salvage, with art by Kanan White. First interior work that Kanan did for the Rippaverse. Of course, he had done covers, and I think he was the art director at the point. But anyways, doing the cover work, I think he did work on like Yaira as the art director at that point. Yeah. Anyways, but and of course he did a bunch of like merch art as well. But this was his first interior job for interior art for King by King White, and he really knocked it out of the park. But anyway, private investigation has changed. The easy money dried up years ago. Now there's only the risky job. Saoirse is an LF certified private investigator in Flores Park with lightning flash reflexes and the firepower to back them up. When a local gang leader hires her to investigate who's encroaching on his territory, she infiltrates a high-class party thrown by the Mansion Group and uncovers something far more sinister than a turf war. They're not looking for conflict; they're playing the long game, targeting Flores Park, largest school district, to recruit young, naive kids into their criminal operation. Now outnumbered and outgunned, Saoirse has only her wits, her training, and the great equalizer to get out alive. So basically, just continuing the short story in Saoirse number 1. Basically. And the same thing with Salvage. So it's basically what we got in the Ripazine just being continued. I believe I got this. I mean, this is like, again, I said, I have a thing for redheads. Not that, well, again, no no woman's is gonna have a guys, no woman's gonna have a thing for me. And if she does, I will pull her to the side and I'll explain to her that you need to improve your choice of men, honey. If you think like I'm the guy, you need to reevaluate your life choices. But that's again, I probably ought to give myself a little bit more credit. But anyways, I have a thing for redheads, man, and this is like who boy. And the thing is, you got this like cocktail dress, and she's like hiking it up, and she's got the gun in like the garter belt, man. Like I am like scared around. Like again, it's like, oh man, it's like maybe that's like part of like the appeal is that like she could kill you if she feels like it. It's that like kind of like Black Widow vibe. Yeah, just show them your comic collection. That'll totally, yeah, that makes them, that's like, it'll be like Niagara Falls. Show them my comic book collection. Show them my manga. Oh man. Let's see. We got Ram in the chat. Absolutely love see you in the chat. Yes, saying that I should not sell myself short. Also saying hail to everybody. Yeah. Yeah. And Anthony saying I would as well. Yeah, I don't know. It's just really hard. Because I'm 27. I've never been in a relationship. I've never really even like kissed a girl. So it's like it's so weird for me if like something were to happen, especially like I don't know, if I grind it out for another like 5, in my 30s, and I find a woman that wants to marry me, especially if it's a younger woman, because one of the things that like younger women like in older men is the experience, right? And I just feel like she would be expecting me to like have a lot more experience with women than I actually would. But who knows? Maybe she would want like the experience and like the fact that like I've been around for like a decade longer than her, and like I have like experience in like how to I don't know fix stuff or I don't know run a household or whatever. Yeah, dating is so fucked for your generation. Yeah, I'd say honestly, it kind of starts with like the younger millennials. So basically, I'd say anybody under age of like 35 is like it's really messed up. Because even if you're like a couple years older than me, like 10 years older than me, like yeah, sure, your teen years were doing during the 2000s. That's when dating was like normal, wasn't ruined by like Tinder. But yeah, people my age and younger. Oh, a funny story was when I was in high school, this is my German class. I had the same German teacher for like my entire high school career. So like she knew me, and most of the people in the class knew me, and I was like really down on myself because this was how I always was. I always am, basically. And I was like, oh, no girl would ever date me. And she asked the entire class, like, who would go on a date with my name is Ben, or who would go on a date with Joker. And like half of the girls in the class raised their hand. And the thing I didn't do, I didn't ask any of them out. I should thinking about it's like, why didn't I do that? Um, but I just, didn't have a car, didn't do that. It's just, I don't know. It was a really confusing time. It still is a confusing time for me. More confusing now, so because like I actually met somebody and it didn't work. I wasn't expecting to meet anybody, especially like in the way that I did. Um, but that's the thing is that like I don't meet that many I don't meet that many women. It's not like I don't live a life where I meet women. I'm not running in circles where there are a lot of young single women. Sure, I could get on the let's see. I had a younger friend, a little older than you, and used Christian Mingle. I don't know. Christian Mingle. Well, yeah, worked for him. I mean, I don't know, maybe. Like I'm an Orthodox, becoming Orthodox. I don't know. And there are some guys that go to my church. Like one guy is dating a Protestant. Um, and like it's not like fun because like if I date some like Pentecostal girl or something like that, and she wants to like flop around on the floor, or some like Lutheran or Calvinist, and I have a completely like different theology. I'm like, you have to agree to these things if you want this like to work out in the long term. Like there are some like basic things, and like of course the values of like if she's not like sleeping around, if she's not like if she wants to have kids and she doesn't thinks abortion is wrong and IVS, and those are good things. Like those are good shared values, but it gets to be deeper than that. It's like, yeah, I got to try. I don't know. I don't like trying. And again, that's like, oh, you got to man up. You got to put yourself out there. Um, the thing is, yeah, I shoot your shot. Like again, I really feel like I'm not the guy, man. There are plenty of other guys out there. Um, yeah, have your own place. It's already more than a lot of young people nowadays. Yeah, I don't know. I moved out at 27, so I moved out last year. I got my own place. I mean, this place is like, God, my freaking rent is so expensive, man. I was thinking of like downsizing. But I like it here, and it's like, I don't know. I don't want to like, I don't know. Yeah, the flopping Pentecostals sure are wild. Yeah, so if I meet someone like that, yeah, sure, like if like I'm going to church one day and like 3 years from now, some like 20-year-old like Baptist girl walks in, and she talks to me and she's like, oh, I'm a Baptist because John the Baptist founded the Baptist church, and be like, no, honey. And then I explain it, and then she becomes Orthodox, and she just is enamored with me. Sure, it could happen. But like I don't know, I hate using stuff like Tinder, gotten botted and scammed, and just like using the internet at all for dating. It's just left such a sour taste in my mouth. Of course, it'd be a little bit easier now, but like if I go on like even like the ones that are not just for hooking up, like Tinder, that's basically the point of it. But like even like Hinge or Bumble or OK Cupid or whatever, so many people are like scammers and prostitutes, and it's so it's such a messed up environment, and I just do not like it. Oh, but what about the Roman Empire? Oh yeah, the Roman Empire was very patriarchal. If I was young with no kids like you, I'd be sleeping on my friend's couch, saving all my money. Well, one, I don't have friends. Well, no, I don't have friends like that. I mean, I guess hypothetically, I could, get out of this apart. I was living with my parents, soon. I didn't have to move. Um, so I could have stayed, but I just wanted to get out on my own. And I don't know. I think it was like the right time for me. Like it had to happen when it happened, and I'm glad that it did. But yeah, because it's like the chain of events that happened, leaving at the exact time that I did, was quite interesting. But anyways, I just want to go through the rest of the Saoirse covers. So we've got, of course, this A cover that went over was done by BTG. So Vince L. Tabans has done the cover B, which is, a much more like, this is like a Laura Croft vibe. I absolutely like this one. And then we've got, cover C, which we got this revealed. This guy Kaio Cacao. So we have had this one that's revealed. And then we've got this D cover, which is the Mass Spring cover by Kane One. I believe this was revealed in the Rippa Veal. So absolutely fantastic stuff there. But anyways, so we can go. Let's see. What about the Ottoman Empire? So Ottoman Empire is more medieval. Of course, they lasted until the 20th century. It was dissolved in World War One, famous for being the last caliphate. But by the time like the Ottoman Empire of like, I'd say their peak was somewhere around like the 1700s or so, actually known by the American revolutionaries. And I believe there was conflicts, like naval conflicts between the Ottoman Empire and the like American privateers, if I remember that correctly. So yeah, Ottoman Empire, they were a pretty big global player. Probably, yeah, definitely one of the big reasons why Islam spread. Actually, not really. That was more the earlier caliphates, like the ones right after Muhammad. Is probably the bigger reason they just maintained that dominance. But yeah, Ottoman's peak was more like very like late modern era. So you're thinking like 16 to 1800 is when the Ottoman Empire peaked. Of course, 1453 when they take over Constantinople and they are the fall of the Roman Empire. That was a really big win for them. The rulers of the Ottomans, they would call themselves Tsar-i-Rom, King of Rome. Because a lot of the lands the Ottomans ruled were historically part of the Roman Empire. So to make their reign seem more legitimate, they were calling themselves the Kings of Rome or Caesars of Rome. Shows you how influential the Roman Empire was. But yes, I do love history. Muhammad never existed. So yeah, so saying cover B is the best cover. And cover B, let's see. We can actually talk about the reverse instead of talking about I'd say cover B is a good one. But I'm going to go with cover A, honestly. But B's got that, like, it's got that Tomb Raider vibe, and I do like that one. But Student of God is saying, and it's the one that Mike grabbed. So it's Student of God is saying that Muhammad never existed. Honestly, there is credence to that narrative. One of the things that historians look for in historical reporting, it's called the criterion of embarrassment. So if you read through the hadiths, and the hadiths are the basically oral tradition of Muhammad's life and his followers, there are some like really like embarrassing stories. If you go like David Wood, he's chronicled some of them, like homosexual escapades that Muhammad has had. The fact that Muhammad said that if he was a false prophet, he would die by his aorta being severed, and canonically, that is how he died. He was poisoned by some food. So there was this Jewish girl from his, like, one of the many tribes that Muhammad. Mormons are just white Muslims. Yes, basically. A religion made by one guy so he could sleep with multiple women. Let's see. Yeah, I believe Robert Spencer goes over that topic. But anyways, Muhammad canonically died from his aorta being severed. So he ate poisoned food from this given to him by this Jewish girl. So this Jewish girl loses her entire family, I think is a captive of Muhammad or something like that, gives Muhammad food at this, Kaibar thing. I forget if it's like a festival or holiday, whatever. He eats it, and then he eventually dies, and he says, I feel my aorta being severed from the food that was being eaten at Kaibar. I'm paraphrasing. And then he dies. And he said beforehand, if I'm a false prophet, or it was said that, if he's a false prophet, he would die by his aorta being severed. Yes, Joker, that's from one of the hadiths. Yeah. So, a lot of Muslims are very uninformed. Like, this is true for a lot of Christians. A lot of Christians are very low information. They do not know much about anything about their behavior. I believe that hadith is also Sahih. So you just go through the Sahih. Like, it's Al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, which is by Al-Bukhari. So he lived like 200 to 150 years after Muhammad, and he was several hundred miles to the north. Like, I don't know, by the Caucasus or somewhere like that. I can't exactly remember, but it was nowhere near the Arabian Peninsula. And he had access to the oral tradition, and he compiled all the hadith that he remembered, and he removed the ones that he thought weren't true. And they're still repeats, so it's several thousand. So he had like 10 or 13. He whittled it down to like 5 or 6,000 or something like that. But anyways, there are embarrassing things that are claimed to be like part of the authentic tradition. There are some like reports of Muhammad. So there most likely was a let's see, 7th century Arab man who was doing what Muhammad did. But a lot of those stories were most likely embellished, and the historical figure that is Muhammad is definitely not the person that is who actually that Muhammad was based off of. Is most likely not exactly the Muhammad that is known in mostly the Hadith. The Quran barely mentions Muhammad. Muhammad is more like a title rather than an actual name. I think it's like praiseworthy. Wait, this is supposed to be a Ripaverse show, not me talking about history. But again, this is what I love about the Braxcast Live. I just rant about random stuff. I got asked about the Ottoman Empire. So they conquered a lot of land and need to want to have a claim to power back through God, the blue bloods in the northern Christian kingdom. So they made it up. I think, I don't know, with you can go through there's the Abbasids and the Umayyad caliphates and that transition, and the fact that Uthman made his own Quran. I got into the topic too. Oh God, Ram's enjoying the topic. Also talked about, but yes, Ram said that his sister met her husband online. Now she's a Muslima. I wish I had taken this more seriously 8 years ago. That's unfortunate. If you've seen God Logic debate some Muslimas, and it's like, would you let your husband beat you? Because that's what the Quran says, or the Hadith's like, yes, I would. And there's also a Hadith that most people in hell are women. Islam is a very carnal, worldly minded religion. And it's entirely man-made. Christianity is very starkly, especially, if you have a canonical understanding of orthodoxy. Of course, a lot of Christians are very low information. They have this very cookie cutter corporate view of Christianity where, especially the modern evangelicals with this prosperity gospel where I believe in God, good things will happen to me. Have you read the book of Job? Have you, heard the words where Christ said in the gospel, deny yourself, pick up your cross and follow me? And he was talking about him being crucified, right? And mocked and scorned. Jesus Christ, he died with only the clothing on his back, and that was stripped from him, and the soldiers cast lots for it. God loves everyone. Nah, bro. Well, you see, I hate only catechism, but the fact is that God does love everybody, but that doesn't mean God is not going to judge anyone, right? So there will be a final judgment, and not everybody is going to be judged kindly, right? And I can't tell you who that's going to be. Really, in the economy of salvation, you can only really be concerned with yourself and knowing that you have to turn away from your own sins. You have to repent for what you've done, rather than, and again, this is explicitly condemned in the gospel. This is Matthew chapter 7. Do not judge, lest that judgment comes back unto you. Right. And of course, the whole point of the Lord's Prayer is, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. So the entire point of the Christian life is to look inward and know that you are the chief of sinners, as Paul says, and that you have to repent of that, rather than saying this is the publican and the Pharisee. And we had a service, it was on the calendar recently. The whole point of that was that the Pharisee was this righteous man. He was bragging and boasting. I fast twice a week. I give alms of everything I give. I'm not like the publican. The publican says, "Oh God, be merciful to me, a sinner." And he was the one who was justified, and the Pharisee was not. Right. So again, my theological TED talk will end there. God said, if someone here gives me 10,000, he will bless this person in congregation. Yes, exactly. It's like, give me money, good things will happen. Right. And it's more just to get money. Let's see. Joker is well knowledgeable and all. This is what people say. I think Joker's calling is actually to be a preacher. Yeah. I've been thinking. You see, the thing here's the thing. I theoretically could become a priest in the Orthodox Church, but for me to be a parish priest, so Catholic priests are celibate. You know, if you want to be a priest in Catholicism, unless you're part of the Eastern Rite, then you can get married. But normatively for the Catholic Church, you take a vow, you get tonsured, as in you take a vow of celibacy to become a priest. But in the Orthodox Church, it's normative if you're going to be a parish. So it's like if you go to your local, like, you know, there's like a St. Andrew's Church in California. That's Father Josiah Trenum. There's like, you know, a common one is like Holy Resurrection Orthodox Church, or like St. Herman's Orthodox Church, like one that's like in a town where regular people or the laity go to. Those priests are typically married. So I would need to have a wife. I would need to have a matushka. Let's see. I hope Joker becomes a priest so he can give me all of his Rippaverse items. If I became a priest, I'm pretty sure I'd still be allowed to own things. I've actually seen some Orthodox clergy play video games, so I'm pretty sure I could still own my comic books. But the thing is, Ram, is that the way I would become a priest, no wife, is that I would go. There's a seminary in Jordanville. That's in New York, upstate New York. Yeah, only if I become a monk. So this is not anytime soon. But what I would do is I go to seminary. I probably will ask about this. Is like, hey, could I simultaneously go to the seminary and become a novitian? So if you become a monk, before you get tonsured as a monk, you become a novice. So like it's on the path between becoming a monk. So you're a novice for about 3 years, and then if you pass that, and like the abbot and the brothers like you, then you get tonsured as a monk, and then you take vows of celibacy. So you can't marry, and you take a vow of poverty. You can't really own anything, so you'll basically have the clothes on your back, and that'll be it. Which honestly, it's appealing to me. So that's how I could become. I could become a monk, and then I could become a hiero monk, which would be a priest monk. And I could like you just go to like monasteries and just teach people the faith like that way. But if I got married, right? So I find a wife, I get married, then I could be like, ordained a deacon, and then I would become a priest after a certain amount of time. And then I would have like, I would have a flock and I would teach them that way. Well, can you have a phone? Yeah, monks, they can have access to tech. But like, it's not really like the whole thing. The whole point of this is like, if I became a monk, I wouldn't really want to use technology all that much. Yeah, if Joker becomes a monk, will you have to get the tonsure haircut? I've said this before. I don't in the Eastern Rite, typically in the Eastern churches, typically there are some like you look at some iconography of like John Chrysostom, they will. But typically you don't have to shave. Like in fact, like shaving, like for the monks, like you see like the Eastern Orthodox monks, typically they don't do that. So I don't think I would. And I mean, but the thing is, I'm going to be balding anyway. So by the time it happens, like, nature or like God will give me the tonsure because I'll have like the hair like thinning out there. I'll just have it around here. I'll probably just shave. If you become a monk and in 30 years, Rippaverse Studios puts out a movie, will you go watch it? That's something I would, let's say hypothetically, I would just ask my abbot if I could do that. And if he says yes, I would. If he says no, then I can't. Or I guess I would ask the bishop if I could. But honestly, at that point, if I was a monk, then it's like, yeah, I'm renouncing the world. So as cool as a Rippaverse movie would be, it's like I'm not, living my life for worldly things. I'm living my life for the kingdom of God. Which it's a challenge. It's a very high callings, and I'm not sure if I'm being called to that. Especially, and I'm not going to say anything definitively because it's a big commitment, and it's like, and I haven't even been baptized yet. And any, abbot worth his salt, any monastery is not going to accept you, even consider you to be a novitian, like a novice, to become the path to becoming a monk, if you've been Orthodox for a couple of years at least. So it's going to be, I'm 27 now, I'll be 28 in a little over a month. So like I said, when I'm pushing 40, so probably sometime after 35, and I'm as God willing, as single as I currently am, which most likely will be the case. I don't know. people say, "Oh, I'm a great guy," women, I don't know. I don't see the appeal of me. But whatever. It's a passion, my self-hatred. It's one I have to dispossess. It's one I have to repent of. So for me to mope around and say, "Oh, I'm ugly. No one's gonna like me," blah 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 blah. It doesn't do me any good. It doesn't do anybody any good. I have to accept that people care about me. But anyways, got free books launched for pre-order. So a Rippaverse movie, it's more possible than ever. And honestly, I think it's going to be less than a couple years from now. I made a bet with Doc, I do Humte Potpourri with. We might be coming up on that. I have to ask him I can't remember the bet we made, but I might have won it because I don't think the reverse movie's come out yet. Was it 27? I don't know. We should have put it on a calendar or something. Anyways, this was quite the derail. It certainly was. It always seems to happen though. There's always derailments, and I do really like it. But anyways, I wonder when the next books will go up for solicitation. Honestly, at this point, I imagine it's probably going to be before the end of this month with the way that they're going about things. And if you're going to get 100 books out this year, which it's pretty. If you're including the Ripazines and the concept art books in that, I think it's a certain possibility. But I mean, we'll see. But I imagine it's going to be happening soon. But anyways, I do like the derails. I like the tangents we go on. It always seems to happen. And anyways, I always go through I always cover the content really quickly because it's not a lot to cover. Even when there's a good amount of stuff to cover. So hey, said next week in the video. Let's see. Hey, said next week in the video. So that's a few days. Is from Chronic Lore. I haven't seen you in the chat. But did you leave a comment on one of my videos? Boop 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 doo. I go to community. Boop 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 doo 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 doo. Let's see. Yeah, no, I'm not necessarily seen. I think Eric mentioned that by the halfway point of this year, he wants to crank into full production. Yeah, that makes sense. Honestly, on the path to being. Eric said the new solicit videos will be weekly. I see. That's an interesting. I didn't watch the solicitation video. Honestly, to maybe put things back on track a little bit, we can actually watch that. And it seems like we do have a direct message on the Twitter. Let me just check that out. Oh yeah, that's just Mark. So I will let's see. So I did get your DM on Twitter, Mark Carlin. So after this stream, I'll send you those. So just bear with me. I got a few items for my buddy and the action figure for me. For books I needed to get. Yeah, that was you. I saw that. So anyways, media. Let's see. No, that's just the Rippaverse way, which honestly I should buy with the store credit. Here we go. So yeah, here we go. We got this one here. We can remove. No, we can stop the screen. Share the screen. Go for this one. Share the system audio. I got it.
What's going on, everybody? It's Eric Jalad, and welcome to the first ever This Week in the Rippaverse Solicitations video. So we're doing things a little differently now, if you haven't heard. We've moved away from the base collection format, and going forward, we're releasing books individually through a pre-order solicitation model. You'll know exactly what's coming, when it's coming, and you can secure your copies ahead of time. Let's get into what's available. Salvage, Lethal Force. This graphic novel is the follow-up to Salvage PI. It's written by me with interior art by the legendary Bart Sears, colors by Jay Brown, and all 4 covers are also available as CGC Signature Series, signed by me. The release date is June 10th. Pre-order cutoff for covers A, B, and C, and all CGC editions is May the 8th. After that, only cover D is guaranteed to be available. And next up, Saoirse number 1. Our Femme Fatale LF certified PI gets her first series. It's written by me with line art by Kanan White and colors by Marcos Martins. 4 covers, including one from BTG. All 4 covers are also available at CGC Signature Series. Same dates. Release date June 10th. Pre-order cutoff is May the 8th. And Alphacore number 3, written by the legendary Chuck Dixon. Art by Joe Bennett. Inks by Fabio Jansen. Colors by Jay Brown. This is a 56-page book. Now, I know what you're thinking. Alphacore 2 hasn't even shipped as of me recording this video, and that's right, which means once it does, you won't have to wait long for issue number 3. Of course, it has 4 covers, but cover C, which is a special limited cover, it's the Heroines of the Rippaverse version cover by Guillermo Carte. It features Saoirse, Ingrid, Valdez, Blood Ruth, and Yaira, and only 800 copies are available. There are no CGC editions for this one. The release date is April 29th. Pre-order cutoff date is April the 1st. And one more thing, for the first 1,000 orders of each individual book, you'll receive a character card featuring the main character of that title. So if you're early, you get something a little extra. That's it for this week. Pre-orders are live right now.
Okay, there we go, guys. Boop. Okay, so while that was going on, I was able to get Merc. I could use Twitter directly, so hopefully you enjoy those scans. So I kind of was able to just like do that while I was washing. Didn't see that this was a weekly thing. Maybe that was at the very end.
Are live right extra. That's it for this. Receive a character card featuring the main character of that title. So if you're early, you get something a little extra. That's it for this week. Pre-orders are live right now.
You said that's it for this week. I don't think that implies that there's going to be a new solicitation every week. Just that like there's going to be no big announcements for this week, and there haven't been. But anyways, so yeah, but I mean we'll see. So I think they want to get to a point where there's multiple stuff releasing a month, basically. So let's see. So Garfield saying that you enjoyed the Saints and Sinners video from Merc Lounge. Pull that AI comic book tweet I sent you. I thought it was interesting. Oh yes. We'll go to yes, here we go. And this will be the last thing we talk about. And then hopefully I got that freaking my Miller's order in. But anyways, I'm thinking. So basically built an app. So this is from Hassan on Twitter saying that I built an app that can generate an entire comic in a few seconds. You can upload your own character, choose a theme, and build your own comic page by page. Completely free and open source, launching in 24 hours. And this was posted on the 28th of January. It's live now. So, this is the thing. AI generated comics, AI generated art. It's going to keep on happening. People are using it already to make comics. So even like this tool from Hassan, this is like one that's tailor made for comics, but like you can do like Rock Imagine or ChatGPT image generation or whatever the model is. So people will use it. Yeah, as a rough draft for your comic, this AI thing is okay. Yeah, if you're a writer and you want to make like storyboards to give to an artist, that's a good use for it. As Garfield said, AI is only going to get more advanced, and the thing is, this is something that Eric has said. This is something that like a lot of creatives are going to really have to reconcile. The fact is that most people don't care how the sausage is made. So the whole thing is that people like these artists have this idea that like people respect the blood, sweat, and tears, the passion that's put into creating something, and that's why people consume the product if it's good. And if AI can make a good product, then they're not going to care, and they're going to read the AI comic book, especially when it's cheaper, especially when they can just prompt it themselves. So if you want to watch if you want to read Deadpool, if you want to read like Deadpool in My Hero Academia, or Deadpool goes and does the entire like Dragon Ball arc or whatever, manga or whatever you can think of, it's just going to you're just going to be able to prompt that, generate the comic, and consume that. Or basically Anya, from Spy Family, going through the plot of Dragon Ball. That's something I would read. Or like, I don't know. There's just so many things that I could think of that like I would want to read. And I could, if like you have an AI prompt and you could just type it in and you can just start reading it, that's what people are going to do. They're not going to care. And the same thing with like games. All games are like a bit hard. So people show like these videos of like, oh, game development is dead because I was able to use like Google image generation or whatever the AI model is to, generate like something that looks like a video game. And it's like, as a little bit more than that. Let's see. Basically, Merc Lounge like Garfield for liking his video, which is always nice to see. So yeah, it's something it's on its way. I don't think it's going to be a while, and I still think a lot of comic book artists are going to have good work, because there are companies that are going to be committed to, and I like to refer, going to be committed to not using AI, and you can still have good production output not using AI. So the thing is, there's this, quantity versus quality argument, and with enough people, you can definitely have enough quantity while maintaining the quality. I think Rippaverse is very much so becoming proof of that with each, year, honestly, each month at this point. It's more like year over year, and they're really getting things into full gear with how they're releasing things. So I don't think it's something to be concerned about. And AI is just like, it's the final generation. It's the final, like, I don't want to say final step, but it's the next step in really stupefying people. Because you've got people, yeah, let's see, a while. It's going to ramp up pretty quick, and it already has in 1 year. Yeah, no, it's ramped up. Like, we're almost we'll be 4 years into the Rippaverse starting this July, and it's ramped up from just it being one book, Item 1, and then it taking a really long time for Item 2 to come out. And then we got Alphacore, and then we got Yaira, and then we got some more stuff. But it was after, I'd say, Bloodroof number 1 was fulfilled. And that was 25. That was this year. That's when I think stuff really started ramping up. And now that we're after Item 3, this is we're in new territory for the Rippaverse. I'm really excited for it. July 11th will be the 4th anniversary of the Rippaverse. Looking forward to it. I am as well. No, the AI, I'm not sure what Stephen God is saying by that. But anyway, AI is really just this last. It's like really making us stupid as a culture, even more so than the smartphone is. This is a nice, smartphone's a good device, and it's useful to help you navigate and make phone calls, and there's a lot of it's cool to you can be basically anywhere in the world and you can check your bank account. That's useful, but a lot of people use it to make themselves stupid. I mean, when you can stream X-rated videos, the TikTok slop, and all manners of complete nonsense to this thing for like about 8 to 16 hours a day, it fries your brain. And of course, computers do that as well. I'm not saying this from a point of like, oh, I'm so above it. I have my computer, and I'm on my computer right now. I spend a lot of time on the laptop in bed, just watching YouTube videos. So I see. I'm not above the problem. I see the problem. But this is the thing. I'll say that's tragic. But this is the issue. Is that AI is just making us dumber as a culture. So you can use AI to learn stuff. You can use AI to improve your work output. But people are using AI to do everything for them. That's the thing. And of course, there's a lot of misleading AI videos on YouTube. There's this rise of like shorts where like AI generated shorts. And of course, the thing that I absolutely hate is like it'll show like a clip from a movie. It'll have like what's happening being commentated in the background in silent voice, and you'll have this AI generated voices giving like a synopsis of what's happening. And it's all meant to build engagement. So to get you to watch the video, to interact with it, so they can make money off of it. And this is what, these faceless, channels are making. It's basically you go to ChatGPT, you create a script for a video, you put that into the video generator, then you put that onto the channel, and then you just do that, 10 to 15 times a day until you get traction. You apply for the monetization program on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and then you make money off of it. And that's what those videos are. So a lot of YouTube, a lot of the internet now is just basically people making AI slop to make money, instead of people making genuine content. You see, this is the thing that like old YouTube, like, and I'm talking like, early 2000s YouTube. I'm talking like the original like Minecraft videos, like what the Yogscast did back in the day. And this is like, I'm saying like around like 15 years ago at this point. One of those Yogscast videos, and I'm talking like 20 years ago for stuff like Stupid Mario Brothers, or I mean, we thought Fred was stupid. This, teenager in a high-pitched voice claiming to be this like mentally deranged lunatic. But that was infinitely more original and entertaining than anything Gen Alpha is watching on TikTok these days. That's the sad thing. But the thing is that like, the Fred videos, Fred Ficklehorn, it was just a really stupid kid making stupid videos for other stupid kids like me. And that's like, you can appreciate the charm in that, but like there's no charm in the AI slop, man. Oh yeah, Annoying Orange. I never got that into Annoying Orange, but the thing, Annoying, it's like, I watched some, but oh yeah, let's just have like fruit with like faces on them and make really stupid jokes, and it got traction. I remember watching like the Stupid Mario Brothers, man. That was, stuff like that. And these videos are like, these guys are like 20 years old at this point, because YouTube started in like what, 2005 or so. So like the original YouTube, basically before it got bought out by Google, before YouTube channels were a thing, and when they first became a thing, this whole idea of like people subscribing to your channel, which is just like a really novel, interesting idea. And you didn't have like all these corporations basically taking it over. I remember when the YouTube channel was launched, like the idea of there being a YouTube channel, I was like, this is so stupid, it's never going to catch on. And then nowadays there are people sitting in boardrooms arguing about how much to buy a certain channel for, because it has 500,000, a million, or at this point it's got like several million subscribers, and it generates hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in ad revenue. And that's something that a bunch of suits buy. And even when it's not that big, you still got people who now it's like you get your brand deals, your advertising deals, and these whole corporations or companies that form around YouTube channels. You think of like Caleb Hammer. He's got like a whole business built around his channel. He got like Linus Media Group, with Linus Tech Tips. And it loses the charm of like it being like a guy in his room making videos about computers, or something like that, when it's just like massive, 20 to 30 person team, just cranking out content because they got to make payroll and keep the lights on, right? It's just like, that's the mindset that people are making those videos in, and that's where a lot of YouTube is dominated. If it isn't the AI slops, a lot of stuff like that, and even people who are their own like sole enterprise, there's still that financial incentive. They're still like feeding the algorithm. So YouTube is really, and this is circles out to the entire internet, is that it's become less about making, it's become more about making money than it has about making like entertaining content. This is one of the reasons why the Rippaverse is so fun, is because sure, there is that financial incentive, and this is what Eric has talked about a lot. Is that there is, this, need to be financially solvent. It's an important thing, but that doesn't compromise the creative, creativity, and the creative aspirations of the Rippaverse. And that's, I think those things can exist in tandem. It just takes someone who knows what they're doing. Eric knows what he's doing, and he's got people around him that know what they're doing. And that's what's made the Rippaverse so fantastic. But I'm going to end it here, guys. I think I've been ranting on long enough. I'm getting pretty tired. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Joker is out.